Look at the aftermath here. We've got 200 cuts in Manila rope. What's it from? It's from this Spyderco ZDP-189 stretch. Impressive. 200 cuts in the Manila rope, and it was still making some snagging like cuts in this here newspaper. Very thin stuff, great test of an edge. What's really impressive is after stropping the knife back using this Bark River white compound, which I believe is around 8,000 grit. It's not too clear. I know it's much more abrasive than some white compound razor strop stuff. Is the fact that we've been able to bring the edge back to this level of sharpness just from stropping after 200 cuts. And we can see that right there. Let's check this out. Look at that, dudes. Push cut. All the way down. Awesome. So go ahead and clean some of this stuff up here. But yeah, 200 cuts in the Manila rope, and it felt like it was just going to keep going and going and going. I would probably wear out quicker than this steel would cutting this rope. If you guys don't know, Manila rope is incredibly abrasive. It's a great test of wear resistance for a knife. If you've never cut any Manila rope, you'll know that it takes an incredibly sharp knife just to get through that stuff, and it'll dull any knife in a matter of like just several cuts. Like we're talking 5-10 cuts, and your normal knife will just go dull. So the fact that this steel is able to make 200 cuts and still keep cutting and cutting and cutting is truly impressive. Let's talk more about ZDP-189 actually. It's actually a very exotic steel. It comes from Japan. The chemical makeup is about 3% carbon, 20% chromium, and there's a little bit of molybdenum. I believe 1.5 to maybe 3% molybdenum inside the steel. Really cool. There's some trace amounts of some other stuff like I believe tungsten, but we won't get that far into the detail of it. Basically, the cool thing about it is that you can harden this steel all the way up to 67 as what Rockstead does with their knives. Spyderco isn't quite as hard with their ZDP-189. I believe last I checked on the forums they said it was about 64 HRC. Still very, very hard steel, and it's I would say that this is an expert steel. If you are new to knives, just stay away from this steel because you just won't really enjoy it that much. Sure, I mean, we get a lot of cutting done on this Manila rope, but if you like to pry a lot with your knives, if you like to cut really, really hard materials, this steel is actually a little bit chippy. I've actually gotten a little chip in the steel from doing some carving on some just regular wood, like some pine wood, and I was a little bit surprised. So this is quite the expert steel. It's also not as corrosion resistant as you would think it would be, because all of that 20% chromium is basically married up to that 3% carbon. Okay, they both kind of lock into each other to form all of the carbides that are at high hardness. So there isn't quite enough free chromium in there to help with the passivation of rust. And I've gotten some staining just right here on the blade. Not sure if we could see that with my crummy camera. So if you're going to get some staining in there, just imagine your pivot area right here. If you're doing a lot of extreme use in very corrosive environments, or it gets incredibly soaked, you're going to have to take this thing apart and clean this area right here. Otherwise, if this gets all rusted out, it'll basically completely ruin the knife. So let's talk more about the composition of this steel as well. I mean, 3% carbon. Basically, if you look at the steel chart, that basically puts this knife right here in the category of a cast iron. Most knife steels actually are only about 0.5 carbon to just under 2%. That's the kind of carbon content you need to make a good knife. So 3%, how is that freaking possible? Well, it's only possible with the powdered metallurgy process, where they take the steel, they melt it down, and then they spray mist it, atomize it, and each one of those little misty droplets of steel that's been melted becomes its own little micro ingot with its own basically entire composition of the steel. They then fuse it all back together. They then put it into a bar stock, some other manufacturing processes that I'm not currently aware of, nor do I necessarily care about, because I'm more about knives than I am manufacturing. But that's basically how that's possible, is only with that powdered metallurgy technology. I mean, we're talking 3 times the amount of carbon. And all that translates to is being able to get high hardness and high wear resistance with all those carbides in there. Now, those carbides aren't as hard as the vanadium carbides, which are much smaller and harder. But it's really interesting what the Japanese have done with this steel. It seems like it sharpens very, very good compared to the vanadium steels, which kind of goes back to that Japanese heritage of having knife steels that sharpen up very, very well. So let's go ahead and give this knife a quick little touch up, and let's go through some of that testing a little bit more. So I'm just going to use the DC4 that came with my Falkniven A1 Pro. Awesome stone. We're just going to give it a few passes here on this, kind of remove any weakened pieces of metal. I believe that the new DC4 comes with a silicon carbide stone instead of the ceramic brown stone that it came with on the DC3 that I have. Rather coarse stone. I want to say it's somewhere around maybe 600. Alright, let's get some paper out and test the edge that I have currently. Excellent. A few stragglers there. We'll probably just go ahead and finish those up on the Bark River strop. Now, you don't need the fanciest abrasives ever to sharpen the steel. You just need to know how to sharpen steel, period. And then also, you just need to make sure you have the right abrasives. Ceramic, silicon carbide, aluminum oxide, any of those will work. Diamonds will work as well. But mostly, it's just a matter of experience with sharpening knives, and that's what gets you through. Understanding the basic fundamentals of knife sharpening is what will make it easy to sharpen any steel, no matter how hard or abrasion resistant it is. There we go. See, right when it touches, it catches. Right when it touches, it catches. That's what we're looking for. Cool. We are ready to begin our second test. I'm going to run out of rope here, guys. Jeez. Making a huge mess. I'll have to clean all this up before my wife gets home for sure. So, here we go. Let's do 50 cuts and then we'll check. Make sure you do a drawing motion when you do this. You don't want to just push straight down. That'll kind of alter the test results. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 50 cuts. Let's check this out. Alright. Didn't quite get a good cut on that. It's all about your cutting angle, guys, when it comes to cutting the paper. That's good. Excellent. Still making some good cuts there. Yeah, once you wear out the surrounding kind of iron matrix of the steel, you kind of expose those cutting carbides that just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And that's kind of the advantage of the PM steel. I don't quite see that kind of advantage on the wood. I find for wood carving, guys, it seems like a polished edge seems to work much better. You're able to push cut through the wood and make nice curls, as well as the edge seems to be more stable on some of the carbon steels that I've used, or non-PM steels for wood carving. Especially the laminated cobalt. That's got to be my current favorite steel. Yep, still making some cuts there at 50 cuts. I think it'd be also interesting to show you guys the 420 HC. I know that this thing will go like 200 plus cuts in the Manila rope. I'm not even gonna like waste my time. But let's go ahead and check out. This is Kershaw. This is the 1776 model, the Kershaw Link. You can see that this is incredibly sharp. And this takes an incredible edge too, guys. I love the 420 HC on there. We'll give it a quick little strap up. I've used this knife for a few cuts, make sure it's as sharp as possible. And I'm going to show you guys how fast this will dull compared to ZDP-189. Or not, I haven't quite tested it quite yet. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was 5 cuts. Let's see where we're at. Still cutting. A little bit toothier of a sound. Did you guys notice that? Let's try again. 1. Uh-oh. 2. 3. 4. 5. So 10 cuts total. Let's go ahead and check out where we are on this edge. Still not quite. I mean, that's just 10 cuts, guys, compared to the ZDP-189. See that right there? We've lost that ability to kind of catch into the paper. There we go. So at just 10 cuts with the 420 HC, we're at 50 cuts with this steel right here. Let's see how many cuts it takes to just really just kill this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, shit. Cut myself. That's why a sharp knife is safer than a dull knife, guys. It's gotten dull enough that it's definitely harder to cut. Let's see, we're at 12 cuts now on that. Woo-hoo! Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Oh, that definitely feels a little bit duller. I think it'll still cut the paper okay, though. No, that's quite dull now. It's not doing much except cutting me. So yeah, that's a total of 22 cuts in 420 HC to just make it completely dull. This right here is 50 cuts in ZDP-189. And you can see we're still making some great cuts in there. Not sure if it'll shave. We'll see if I... Yeah, it'll scrape shave. You could see it removing that hair right there. So yeah, we've got scrape shaving sharpness. It's not hair popping sharp. But it just goes to show, I mean, this right here, this is basically like a $35 knife. This is a $120 knife. So that's kind of what you get when you get some super steels. And this isn't quite edge holding. This is abrasion resistance. Because edge holding will be different. If you guys are using this thing as like a freaking pry bar or like whacking on pieces of wood and stuff like that, then you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't quite hold an edge like I thought. So this is only testing how wear resistant the knife is, not how the edge would hold up to different uses. Oh geez, I'm not even counting. Let's give that a try here. Who knows how many cuts that was? You guys will probably know. Let's get another fresh piece here. Look at that, just still cutting. Still cutting. Not a big deal. ZDP-189. Awesome stuff. Hey, let's see if the 420HC drops back up, huh? Here we go. This is a Bark River white compound. This is a knife ship-free strop. My favorite. Go check out Derek's site. Pick one of these up. My favorite strop. Alright, let's see. Hey, and we're back. We're back. That's why you gotta love the 420HC, huh? Not completely back, but you know what? It's definitely better than it was. Actually, you know what? That probably needs to be stropped a little bit more. There we go. 420HC, guys. It may dull quick, but you know what? It touches up quick. I bet this will touch up just as quick, though. We'll wrap this up. Yeah, cool. Fresh piece of paper. Making a huge mess here. Yeah, super sharp, just using that tip area. Awesome. So there you have it, guys. ZDP-189. That's just kind of a quick look at this steel. Highly recommend it for expert use, for the judicious user, for the discerning user, for the dude that knows a ton about knives and knows how to take care of them and sharpen them. You will get your money's worth out of ZDP-189. If you're new to knives, I hate to say it, but you're just not going to get the enjoyment out of the ZDP-189. It just won't be cost effective for you. Yeah, you'll have a hard time sharpening it, and also you'll just chip it out, just using it on stuff that you're probably not supposed to use a knife to cut with. So there you have it, ZDP-189. Thanks for watching my channel, guys. We'll get to some other testing and reviews later.